We want to give a big thank you to our sponsor, Touring and Cruises. Here's something you might not know. Booking with a travel advisor doesn't cost you anything. Disney pays them after you travel. You'll pay the same price you see online, but Touring and Cruises adds an enhanced level of service. Their expert advisors watch for discounts and apply them automatically, even after you book. And it's not just Disney. They can help with cruises, Universal, and all kinds of vacations. Whether you want help planning it all or just someone in your corner if plans change, they're here to help. And yes, they'll wait on hold with Disney 4 hours, so you don't have to. So when you're ready to plan your next trip, head to touringandcruises.com and tell them Rope Drop Radio sent you. Now, let's rope drop.
Helping you navigate the Disney parks.
With the hope that it will be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world.
You're listening to Rope Drop Radio.
Welcome to another Rope Drop Radio. I am Doug McKnight here with Lauren Shields. And Lauren, I am running on fumes still from Saturday night because Michelle and I had to help host after prom. Ugh, that's
and
a thing.
What time were you up till?
I think we got home around 4 a.m. And then, of course, the kids got home and had to decompress.
Oh, man.
And tell us all about prom and IHOP. And yeah, so it was a long, long day and night. And when I would have normally taken a break between like prom pictures, right? And then after prom, I would normally nap. But Alden was on the junior court. So we had to go to prom and watch him stand there.
Oh, well, congrats to him for making it to court.
Yeah, he's one of 3 guys, and there's no winner out of the juniors. They're just there.
They just stand there? They don't declare a winner?
No.
Just the senior class?
Just the seniors get winners, so, yeah.
Oh.
So everyone's a winner that made it, which is just 6 people,
So kings
3.
and queens and no princes and princesses.
No other royalty, but that was our weekend. How was yours?
We were busy too. We had a Girl Scout trivia night. We are raising money to go to Colorado this summer. And so I was one of the co-chairs for that. And that was exciting and fun and went well. And they even had, believe it or not, a Disney round during trivia night. Yeah.
Disney round. How'd you do?
So I was only half listening because I was in charge of the food, but I know that there was some that I did not know the answer to.
Uh-oh.
Like they wanted to know, I don't remember. No, I can't even remember. I was like, the one I was thinking of was actually a Harry Potter question.
Oh dear. Well, you know who would have known that trivia? Our patrons.
Yes, our Patreons would know that. Yes. I wish I knew the question. But speaking of Patreon, we actually have 3 new ones this past week. So thank you. I think everyone's hopping on there because they heard that we are doing a $25 Disney gift card giveaway next month. But I wanted to say thank you to Stephanie, the Nisi family, and Alicia Lynn for joining the Patreon community. We appreciate your support. Be sure to come check that out. There's bonus after show episodes that Doug and I do every week. Doug also does a weekly news update. He likes to, well, we both do, but lately it's been you post random fun posts.
Mm-hmm. Random posts is the accurate term.
They are. Yeah. So last time it was, you were like, what, 6 weeks? No, it hasn't been 6 weeks yet. 4 weeks behind on Run Disney?
Maybe. I don't know. Also, we are adding a new perk to a tier, so you can go check out the tiers. You'll notice this week that there are now advertisements on the show. So we have some commercials that will be running. We do not control which commercials run. So if you're like, well, that's a weird one for Doug to pick, it's because Doug didn't pick it. Lauren did. No.
Do not say that.
No. The thing picks, it does it. So there will be a way, if you really don't want the advertisements, to listen advertisement free on Patreon. So you can go find that tier over there, but the sponsorships will still be there. So I don't want you to go find it on Patreon, listen, and then be like, there's still commercials. No, a sponsorship is different than an advertisement, blah, blah, blah. The sponsorships will still be baked into the show. I can't remove that and post it as easily. So there you go.
That was not confusing at all.
I hope so. Anyway, Apple Podcast reviews, another great way to support the show. This week we have a 5-star review to read. And remember, if you leave a 5-star review, we will read it on air. So here we go. It is titled So Fun, 5 stars by HJDKIP. It's all capitalized, so I'm assuming it's an acronym.
Let's hope.
I don't know what for, though. All right, so great tips and fun too. Lauren is a great addition and a great travel agent, and she and Doug
Oh,
have great rapport. Thanks for a good show.
well, now I probably know this person. That's what I'm
There you
thinking.
go. But it's HJDKIP, so I don't know how you figured that one
Oh,
out.
man.
You're
I
going to
don't
have to
know.
really decipher. So thank you for helping support the show over on Apple Podcasts. You can also make sure you're subscribed on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you listen to the podcast so you never miss a Rope Drop radio. So today we're going to talk about rope drop to nap time, and that's going to come up after this break. And we're back. So today, Lauren, we're talking about strategies for rope drop to nap time because we were asked to get a little more specific on what exactly we do with lightning lanes in our plans, weren't we?
We did. We got asked that. I was focused more on what we do during nap time, and you're like, no, we really need to focus on what we do in the parks.
Yeah, so we had different opinions on how to interpret the question at hand.
We
So
did.
we're going to just answer it all. And we're going to go park to park, rope drop to nap time, and then we're going to come back from nap time. And when I say nap time, it doesn't have to be a nap. Like, you can just go chill in the pool. But we'll talk about that as well. won't
Yes.
we? Yeah.
I
So,
think that's worth talking about.
so if you're not a napper, don't turn it off, please.
Please stay with us.
Please stick around. I promise. There's more than napping ahead. All right. Animal Kingdom. This is where we like to start it off. And we're going to go park by park. You're walking in with some lightning lanes, right? What are you lightning laning at Animal Kingdom to make your day go smooth?
So I'm always buying Flight of Passage because that line is always crazy. And that's what everyone is rope dropping pretty much.
Mhm,
So if you buy it, and you're rope dropping, you are hands down winning this park because you can do it all pretty easily. You could even, if you we're not in this scenario, but if you were park hopping, you could actually leave your regular lightning lanes to a different park in the afternoon if you wanted to, if you're going
Yeah,
to
that's
get up and rope drop.
great asterisks right there.
Yes. So we typically do Everest, Safari, and Dinosaur for our 3. What are you guys doing?
Yeah, we'll walk in with a Flight of Passage, and we will probably have a Safari and an Everest and a Dinosaur. So
Oh, samesies.
same. I think that makes the most sense. Yeah. So that's what we're walking in the park with. What then do you do at rope drop?
We sleep.
Oh,
So this is a great park to do mid-trip. If we have like a 4 or 5 day trip, I like to put this like on day 3 or 4 because by that time we are tired and I don't have to be there right at rope drop
so what
personally.
time? Say the park opens at 8 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
What time are you? So early entry 7:30. Park opens at 8. What time are you getting to the
You
park?
get there at like 9 or 9:30. So like we'll sleep till about 8
Wow.
and then get up.
I don't even understand what words you're saying.
I know. And I get it. I get why you guys go there for rope drop because you can get so much done. It's like the easiest park to rope drop if you have Flight of Passage in your pocket. But we just need rest at some point during the trip. So that's what we're doing, which I know is terrible for the rope drop radio
So
show.
when you get there at 9, you're basically just going straight to your first lightning lane, right?
We go straight to Safari. Yeah. And then why do we go to that one? Oh, because before it gets too hot, usually we're there in the warmer months. I don't want it to be too early because the animals won't be out, but by 9:30, they're usually out. And then after that, we will go on Everest. Then usually we'll go do Flight of Passage. I'll have that for late morning so I can pair it up with lunch. And then hit Dinosaur on the way out. And that's all we really do.
Doing lunch at Satuli?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so we tend to get there at rope drop, but so say early entry is 7:30, right? We stroll up to the tap styles at 7:29, which is not rope drop. If you're really rope dropping and you got to go to flight of passage, you need to be there 45 to 60 minutes early, right?
Yes. Yes.
So our version of rope drop, when we're rolling in with all the passes in our pockets, so to speak, is right at the start of it. Go straight to Everest. My kids and wife will ride it over and over and over. Then we'll go hit Dinosaur. Used to do Triceratops spin, RIP. And then Safari, right? It's not really complicated. And then we might ride some things over again because we have our lightning lane still. But we try to get an early Safari so that we can do that fairly early on. They really shuttle the lightning lane people through that. So you get to watch, though. It has this different time that it opens from the rest of the park. It usually opens a half hour after the park opens.
Yeah.
And I have seen people stand in line for that during the whole early entry and that first half hour before the ride operates. So they're just burning an hour to start their day. But the people that are doing that are the people with little people that are not tall enough to go on anything, because it's that or Navi River Journey right now.
Yeah.
There's not a lot because you don't even have Tough to Be a Bug right now for little,
No, this park's a
like,
little rough right now.
yeah. So, and the shows don't start that early. The Lion King and Nemo show run later in the day.
Like 10, 11.
So it's a hard one. And I'm going to be honest, a 3-year-old on Navi River Journey is not the same as Small World. Like, I don't know
No,
that they care.
they by the time
It's,
they get settled into the ride, it's over.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So,
So,
yeah, sorry, bad news there. But you spend a lot of time. You could, so here's what you can do. So, like, my family goes on Everest over and over. I just sit there and wait because I can't ride it. But if I had, well, not if I had, back when I had the youngest, we would go get a rider swap so they could ride it again with a rider swap, right? Then we
mhm.
would do one of the animal trails. That's what you have to do with the under 40 crowd, or under 48 crowd, is the
So,
animal trails.
yeah, we used to so we would take younger kids on Navi during that time then.
Yeah.
While someone was on Everest. Usually Jake was on Everest because I
Yeah.
wasn't sure I could handle it for a while, but I came around. So yeah, it's not the Navi's not the best ride, but it, like, sometimes the kids are anxious in the morning. They just want to ride
Mm-hmm.
something. So
Yeah.
that's what we would do.
And an animal trail is not the most exciting to some people. And like my kids are like, this isn't as good as the zoo. Like, I'm like, guys, I'm sorry you're spoiled by our zoo.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I can't help that. Anyway,
I only
um,
have one kid who's an animal lover, so, like, and she's happy with the safari. So
oh,
that's our
that's good.
animal. Yeah.
And so we usually eat lunch right as soon as it opens, and then we are out. Very, 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 very rarely will we ever do Cali River Rapids.
It'd have
But
to
if
be hot.
if we're there in midsummer, like we're
Yeah.
gonna, like, June, right? And we're done eating lunch, and say we have a lightning lane for it because we rope dropped the other stuff,
Yeah.
we would do that, and then we would head back to the room for our
That's
break.
probably the best time to do it. Yeah.
That's about the only option in my opinion. And then we break, and then when we head back, it's just the same stuff but in reverse. Um, we have checked the show schedule
Yeah.
before, and we try to get back to catch Lion King or Nemo or Flights of Wonder, Feathered Friends in Flight. There we go. That's the new name of it. We try to catch the last show.
Yeah, we like to head up the
Yeah.
shows because you're still kind of waiting for the park to empty a little bit more. And you can the ride times will start to go down by that time. So that's
But
usually if we but
yeah,
what?
this is one where we've napped and then not gone back. Like,
100%. But in
a
theory,
yeah, in theory, you go back. That's what you do. You reverse rope drop because you've already used the lightning lanes you need. Um, but
yeah.
it's a great night for like hoop-de-doo or something like that.
Yeah, we don't usually go back either, but that's just if you wanted to, you could go back and do the shows, I would say, or take your picture with Mickey and Minnie because they're in their
There,
safari
that
gear
line
together.
is stupid. Now
Yeah.
that there's no lightning lane for it, well, it's moves slower than molasses in the summer or winter molasses. Summer molasses?
Which one's slower?
I think it's cold, so it's slower. Yeah. Cold molasses is slower. If it's hot, it's going to be more viscous.
We've
Less
gone off.
viscous. It's been a while since chemistry, guys. Okay, and the shark was jumped. Let's
Yeah,
move on.
let's.
Hollywood Studios. Here you have some tiers you got to deal with. What lightning lanes are you walking in with?
So I would buy Rise because it's gonna break down. It's not dependable for rope drop, I don't think still. We are all just bigger fans of Slinky Dog Dash than Rock and Roller Coaster. So I would have a lightning lane for that as my higher tier. And then our lower tiers, we would probably do Toy Story Mania. I think Tower of Terror is a good third option, but I have someone who one of the girls hates it like with a passion. So we might do Star Tours and then have the people who want to ride Tower of Terror rope drop it.
There you go. That's a good strategy. So you rope drop Tower of Terror, and then where do you head?
Rockin'.
Okay, that makes sense right there next to
Yeah.
each other. And then you're just burning it through your lightning lanes before lunch? Or do you
Yeah.
do something else in there?
It just depends on the crowds that day. I mean, we've had mornings where you could hop into like Mickey and Minnie's if it's not too long, or Smuggler's Run. If it's really busy, that's probably not happening. And if we have to fill time in between lightning lanes, we're probably seeing the Frozen show.
So you tap your first lightning lane. What is your hopeful fourth lightning lane?
Oh,
And is it potentially for after your break?
yes. Yeah. Usually at that point, it's we like to be out of the park by like 1 or 1:30 and then come back 4:30 or 5 for dinner, and hopefully do one ride before dinner. And so Star Tours is a good one to try to grab. Sometimes I can get that before we leave. Just depends. Smuggler's Run if we can get it, but I only like to do that one time a trip because otherwise everyone just fights over who gets to be pilot. It's not a fair. Did you see they're gonna enhance it though?
Yeah, this has been known. You should listen to the news show on Patreon, Lauren.
Yep. I did actually try to listen to it today, but it was like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, well, I don't need to hear the news from 2 weeks ago.
The new version of Smuggler's Run comes out on the same day as the movie.
I know. Yeah. Now the girls are going to be fighting over who gets to be engineer because then you are supposedly doing something with Grogu.
Now the question is, do I book a trip to go to Disney World and watch a movie when it comes out and go to the park to be a super nerd?
Is that your plan?
No, it's the wrong time of year.
What, you guys have graduation?
May, right? Yeah, it'll be super busy. There's no way that works.
No.
But okay.
Anyway, that I think that ride will change next year when they add to it.
It will stay a tier 1.
Yeah. So what are you guys getting?
So I believe, yes, I would like to walk into the park with a Rise of the Resistance in my pocket, because it's my favorite ride. And then, if I'm being totally honest, I would have a Mickey and Minnie's tier 1 potentially in my pocket too, if I'm going by things I can go on, because I can't go on Rock and Roller Coaster or Slinky Dog, right? Mm-hmm. But to be totally honest, my family would have Rock and Roller Coaster. And so then our tier 2 would be Toy Story Mania, because I think as a family, that's our favorite ride, like collectively.
It's a good one. Yeah.
And possibly Tower of Terror. I believe those would be the two.
You can go on Tower, right?
I can. I just need to sit for a minute when it's over. Okay. There's always like one too many up and downs, and I feel like there's someone with a joystick watching me and laughing. I know it's a computer doing it, but I'm confident there's a cast member just like, oh, look at that guy. He looks, yep, one more. Yep, now he's miserable. And they're like flipping a switch back and forth, like up, down, up. They're hilarious. Not, are they? They just, it's evil. Anyway, so yes, we would rope drop Tower at that point. And then if we didn't have, or we would rope drop, actually, if we're on the front of the rope, Slinky Dog. If we're not on the front of the rope, Tower. And by front of
Yeah.
the rope, I mean you can know where the front of the mob is. You can
Yes.
show up 30 minutes early, and that is not on the rope, right? So, but if we're towards the front, it's Slinky Dog for the family. I might do Mickey and Minnie's without them.
Mhm.
I might rope drop it if we're at the front of it. Or I will go on Toy Story Mania on my own and then realize regrets because it's not fun on your own when you don't have someone to work with to open up all the special stuff to score points.
Right.
Like, it's depressing. So I'll do one of those two things while they go on Slinky Dog, and then usually if they go on Slinky Dog, we'll hit Mania right away, and then Smugglers. You can do those three pretty quick in succession. In that early entry time period, and that's usually the game plan. And then once early entry is over, it's all about lightning lanes.
Yeah.
The lines at 9:05, if the park opens at 9, are all stupid in this park.
Yeah. This
Yeah,
is also Sleeky Dog is hard to get, so there's a lot of times where this one I would shift to post nap just because it might be easier to get late afternoon.
right, because you tap in your first one, or actually your first booking you can get late afternoon for Slinky Dog, right?
Yeah.
So when we're making a fourth one, Smugglers or Mickey and Minnie's Runaway
Yeah.
Railway are very common ones for our fourth one. Sometimes, though, when you tap your first lightning lane, you got to look. It might not be far enough out for after your break, and you have to kind of check 10,
Keep
20 minutes
checking.
later because it can accelerate quickly. If you use a lightning lane at, say, 9:30, like, it changes a lot by 10. So
Yes.
don't think it's moving in a linear fashion on the clock. It's moving in a more exponential fashion. So you have to check it. Like, say you want it an hour later, I would check it 10 minutes later.
Yes.
Um, Not an hour later, they'll be gone. So,
Yeah, those tier ones go fast. And that another trick with that is if you do get something like Star Tours that's easy to pull or something like that, I
mhm,
keep modifying and pushing it back so that it's ready to go at night.
yeah. So it's easy to get 3, though, for the evening. And yeah, so we go nap, come back, and just use lightning lanes again, whatever we were able to grab,
Yeah.
muster. And Star Tours is always kind of the go-to attraction if you don't have something. It's going to have the shortest wait out of all the actual rides. And of course, there's
Yes.
shows. If you want to go to shows, you just work them in whenever.
Yeah.
They have a schedule.
But like RIP Muppets, right? Isn't
Yeah.
that going down in the next week?
Yep. It will be
Yeah.
gone very, very soon. So do you leave usually right after lunch, or do you usually get something in right after lunch? Like, sometimes you can get your fourth lightning
If I
lane
can
right
get a
after
light,
lunch.
yeah, like Mickey and Minnie's is one that we can usually get right after
Hmm.
lunch. So if we get something right after lunch, we'll stay. If I didn't get a lightning lane, then we go back and then try to come back a little bit earlier in the afternoon.
What's your go-to lunch here?
Pizza Rizzo's also RIP.
I think we never actually said where we eat lunch in Animal Kingdom, but it was Satuli Canteen
Well, we
typically for
mentioned
me.
it. I
Did
mean,
we? Okay.
I usually
You
actually
s-
book my flight of passage lightning lane for like 11
yeah,
30.
you
Yeah.
mentioned, so it's by lunch, but we didn't. I don't think we ever said Satuli Canteen
I
by
thought you
name. So
threw it in
I
there.
don't know. Maybe I did.
All right.
You
Yeah,
know,
we're going to Pizza Rizzo's. But where do you guys go?
um, the family likes Backlot Express. I like ABC Commissary. So sometimes I will go to ABC Commissary, get my grilled cheese,
And
and
bring it
carry
over?
it over to Backlot Express. It's not that far to walk. It's just a
Right.
little weird with a tray of food.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think we're
And
going to be Backlot Express people.
uh-huh. I will have my wife or kids, whoever is ordering over at Backlot Express, get my drink there. So I don't
Yeah.
have to carry a drink through the park because it doesn't come with the meal. It's separate. So I just have them get me a drink. And Backlot Express has, refillable drink stations, as is ABC Commissary.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think that's our go-to. I think we've eaten there occasionally with the kids, but they really like the pizza wrap.
it's gone.
I know. Very
Rest
sad.
in peace, Rat Pizza. So sad. So there you go. That's Hollywood Studios. And of course, meet Mickey and Minnie anytime in there. It's always 20 to 45 minutes.
It's
It's just
always
the way it
long.
is. And it moves slower than it feels. It feels slower than it is. I don't know the right way to say it. It's miserable. But You get both of them, just not together.
which is irritating after you wait in that long line.
So irritating.
Yeah.
But
And we've
it's Sorcerer Mickey.
I know. We've also run into the Mickey shorts because the kids like those. The
Oh,
vacation fun.
yeah.
Yeah, if we just need to fill
That's
time for like 20 minutes.
I'll sit on a bench anywhere, but that's air
That's
conditioned, I guess.
it is.
Yeah, I don't know that my kids have ever gone in there. I'll go to it occasionally when it's really hot out and I'm waiting for them
Did
because
they
they're on
ever
a
get
ride.
into those shorts?
Yeah, they watch them.
Okay. Because my kids, like, I swear to God, we, on our first Disney cruise, they found them and they got so obsessed with
Oh,
them.
just left it on that channel in the stateroom.
Yeah. And then there's one episode where Mickey loses his ears. And
Yes,
so,
that's a
like,
fantastic one.
yes. And so, it keeps like going silent. And Jake and I were
Mhm.
not paying any attention. And we're like, what is wrong with the TV? Because the kids were like, why can't they? They were really young, like the girls. And they're like,
Wow,
what happened to the TV? It's like, and then we
that's
got
funny.
home and watched it. And I was like, oh, it's like part of
Yeah,
the episode.
yep.
Yeah.
Okay then. Well, that's fun.
Yes.
All right, I think it's time to move to Epcot. Let's head
Okay.
over. Let's head over to Epcot. So, what lightning lanes do you like to line up?
Yeah. So again, I'm buying Guardians, the individual lightning lane. We usually try to grab Ratatouille right now since Test Track's down. Just because I think Frozen's easier to rope drop.
Okay.
Um, so usually we do Ratatouille. I will make them all go on Spaceship Earth unless it's Christmas time, and then we'll do Living with the Land, even though you don't really need one. And then Nemo, they still like that ride. So those are the three that we're doing. But it depends. I feel like sometimes Ratatouille can be hard to get to, and if we really
Mhm.
just want to get the three done in the morning, sometimes I'll get Frozen or whatever I could get in the morning, and then we'll rope drop Ratatouille, depending on what resort we're staying at too.
So then, after you rope drop Ratatouille, say you're staying International Gateway,
Yeah,
right? Beach Club, Boardwalk, Yacht Club.
yeah.
What do you do after you rope drop Ratatouille?
Do I have a Frozen lightning lane?
Sure. Yes, because if you don't
Then
have
I
Ratatouille, you have Frozen, right? Because the only other
yeah.
option is
So
Soarin' right now.
then I'd go to Soren.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then it's Lightning Lane time after that, right?
Yeah, if we don't have, how does I feel like there was a time where I couldn't get Ratatouille or Frozen. I think it might have been like a Christmas trip and it was really crowded. And
Yeah,
so
I
I think
believe
we
that.
rope dropped Ratatouille and then went to Frozen. And it was like a 40-minute wait, but for that time of year, that's not bad.
And the standby does move a little swifter in the morning because not as many
Yes.
things are getting redeemed. You don't have people with multi experience passes coming either at that time of day, right? Like
Hmm.
as the day goes on, there's more and more people coming back with lightning lanes, even though technically it shouldn't change every hour, right? It does because you add multi experience. If the ride goes down earlier in the day,
Yes.
then there's
It
a
all
lot of
adds up.
people. So sometimes biting the bullet, doing the longer wait in the morning is the way to go. So I think we tend to grab a Frozen lightning lane, but I'm gonna be honest, we don't have a date yet for Test Track. But if Test Track's open, 100% grabbing
Yeah.
Test Track.
Yeah.
Um, because even if you rope drop Test Track, it can take forever, and you have to be at the front of that rope drop. You gotta elbow small children and not be ashamed.
And you have to
And
be coming in from the front entrance. A lot of things
yeah,
have to line up for that to go well.
it's tough. So that one's one of the most valuable is Test Track, and I'm not necessarily gonna buy a Guardians because I can't go on it, but my wife and kids definitely will.
Hmm.
And then we would most likely have a Living with the Land and a Spaceship Earth, maybe a Mission Space, maybe, but
Ooh,
probably not.
we like never ride that.
It's kind of the forgotten attraction in
It
our house.
really
So
is.
really, the main thing is you want to try to use something at 9 a.m. so that you can grab a Soren after you tap in your first one.
And I've also found if we are coming back to Epcot after nap time, I have found frozen ones in the evening
Mm-hmm.
too. Yeah. So Test Track and Ratatouille, Test Track when it opens, and Ratatouille are your two good ones to get here for sure.
Yeah. Now we don't have an opening date yet for Test Track, but they're
End
running
of summer,
vehicles.
whatever that means. I was
I
like
mean,
August,
right?
September. Yeah.
July? What are we talking? You guys, you need to open it because Epic's opening. I hate to break it to you.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go. And so we usually use fast pass or lightning lanes and get some lunch at we tend to be in Future World or World Celebration
Wow.
at this time. Look at me try.
I'm impressed.
Um, so the family really tends to head to Connections Eatery lately for lunch. The caveat, though, is a lot of times we will get in one of the first Voices of Liberty back in World Showcase in the American Adventure before we leave for our break. So that can change where we eat lunch significantly.
Yeah. We usually are at Connections. I think my kids have seen Voices of Liberty once, and
Ugh,
several of them asked to leave.
that's not allowed, Lauren.
Now, see, Luke's in choir now, so he might really enjoy it. Like,
He
I think him and
should.
Gracie were okay with it, and we're kind of starting to understand. But the littles were like, "I'm not gonna. Why are we here?"
Next trip, it's time to try it again. So
Yeah,
it's time.
I guess so.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a fantastic thing, Voices of Liberty. But you got to check the schedule, and we try to hit the first show or two. Like we've done a show, eaten lunch, watched another show, then we go on our break and nap
Yes,
after. And then when we come back, usually Voices of Liberty is done. So none of that.
right.
But that's when we tend to hit World Showcase stuff, or we come back from the break, we go in and we do Nemo, Figment, Living with
Yeah,
the Land, Soren. We've done that before after the break. It's a fantastic strategy. If you're not trying to do like food and wine and that sort of stuff, that works out really well.
yeah. Soren, I feel like can be hit or miss that time of day. Like sometimes it's not that bad. You have to hit it right when like everyone's eating dinner,
Mm-hmm.
and then it can be pretty easy to hop right on. That is also one I can usually get later on in the day too, as a like fourth or fifth lightning lane.
In general, when you nap or break during the day, are you an eat dinner outside of the park or in the park sort of person?
Most of the time in the park, I think. Oh, Magic Kingdom and Epcot. It depends on the park, right? So
Yeah.
Hollywood Studios, we almost always eat inside the park. Epcot, it used to always be Garden Grill. Lately, it's been Beaches and Cream. Just because I'm telling you, that place is so much cheaper than anything we're going to
Mm-hmm.
eat in the park, and everyone's happy. Um, and then Magic Kingdom, if we're tight on time, we will eat there. If we're doing like a longer trip and I'm not rushing to go back to the park, we're usually eating at a Magic Kingdom resort for dinner.
Nice.
What about you
Yeah,
guys?
it's 50-50. I think it definitely variable is what time we want to get there and what we want to do when we get there. Like we've gone back to where we've gotten back in the park, watched a show, like the last showing of something, and
Mm-hmm.
then eaten, or we had to get back to use a lightning lane and then eat. But if we have something booked, it's where we take advantage of a 5 o'clock ADR at a resort restaurant,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Like we go to Ohana and then go into the Magic Kingdom. We go to Beaches and Cream or Cape May Cafe and then go into Epcot or Hollywood Studios. Um, that's kind of how we play it a lot of times is a reservation, and sometimes that reservation's in the park. But we've done like Chef Mickey's, Steakhouse 71, then go in, or 1900 is another good one for an early dinner and then go into the park for your evening after your
Yeah.
nice nap.
Yep. Yeah.
So
We're usually doing dinner at 5 or 5:30. Yeah.
yeah.
Same thing.
So are we ready for the most complicated yet best one to nap from?
Yeah.
All
Magic
right.
Kingdom.
Magic
There's so much to
Kingdom.
do there.
And the tears cause actual tears
They
at the
do.
Magic Kingdom.
Yeah. That one you're going to feel it a little bit more.
All
Do you
right.
want do you want me to start? Are
Yeah,
you ready?
this is what we've been doing. You stick with it, Lauren.
Okay. So, um, we will. Usually buy Seven Doors Mine Train or Tron. We don't usually buy both, but I guess if we really wanted to, we could. We did do it right before spring break because we were only there for one day, so it wasn't quite as painful on the wallet. But let's say you have those. Tron, I do try to do at night because it's a little bit more fun when it's dark out with all the lights. My kids absolutely loved Tiana, so that's like our go-to, I think, for right now until the weather gets cold and we have to worry about getting wet. So Tiana's, and then we usually grab Haunted Mansion and Pirates just because they're our classic go-tos.
Okay.
Um, what are you guys doing?
Um, I'm pretty sure. So tier 1 right now is, well, Big Thunder is not open. So it's
Hmm.
Jungle Cruise, Peter Pan's Flight, Space Mountain, and Tiana's Bayou Adventure.
Yes.
We will typically get Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Reason for that is you can rope drop Space Mountain with early entry, and we will do that. And then if we rope drop that, sometimes we'll try to rope drop Jungle Cruise as a second rope drop, right? If we
Hmm.
really want to do Magic Kingdom one day, all the things, that's the plan. You is grab Tiana's Bayou, rope drop Space Mountain. As soon as you're off Space Mountain, go get in line, rope drop Jungle Cruise. So double rope drop. The reason that works is early entry does Tomorrowland and Fantasyland. Regular park opens Adventureland, Frontierland, and Liberty Square. So that's how the double rope drop works. Is you're able to go over there a little, in case people are like, "How? What do you mean rope drop again?" So it's a half hour later for Jungle Cruise rope drop, and Tiana's Bayou is just a lot further away than Jungle Cruise, so you're already walking across the park from Space Mountain. And then, so my tier 2, just so everybody knows, tier 2 here is Barnstormer, Buzz, Dumbo, Haunted Mansion, It's a Small World, Mad Tea Party, Magic Carpets, Winnie the Pooh, Philhar Magic, Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor, Pirates of the Caribbean, Tomorrowland Speedway, and Under the Sea, Journey of the Little Mermaid. So that's tier 2. So there's a lot of tier 2.
Yeah.
Unlike Epcot, where it's kind of like, well, I guess I have to pick 2. Here it's like, ooh, which 2? So I liked your choices, the kind of the classic things, but we might go with Pirates, maybe Tomorrowland Speedway, just because that's a line no one wants to wait in
Right.
ever. Haunted Mansion, Buzz, those are some other good ones. But here's the thing: you can grab most of those throughout the day,
Yes.
right? So we want some theme that we booked to be in that first half hour of park operations that we try to use right after Jungle Cruise, or if we give up on that plan, something we're using right away. So that might be, say we stick over in Tomorrowland, that might be a Tomorrowland Speedway sort of lightning lane. And so that we do that with hopes of being able to snag another tier 1.
Right. Yeah. So like on my spring break trip, because it was so short, remember, like I couldn't find my jungle, not Jungle Cruise. I couldn't find Pirates or Haunted Mansion at like 9 o'clock, which is what I wanted. So there is method to the madness in booking like a Dumbo or something for 9 o'clock, just as if you are really set on getting a second tier 1 lightning lane.
And I think it's worth it if it's, you're going to be in that neighborhood at 9 a.m.
Right.
Like, if like Dumbo's a good one, or Little Mermaid, Small World, because that's a place you can be easily at 9 a.m. and like tap at 8:55, right? Because you can
Hmm.
do it 5 minutes early, and then you're ready to go get your fourth thing, and you're beating most people at what's left.
That's
So,
true. And just for the record, we did rope drop Space Mountain and make it to Tiana's
oh, see, I
for a second
like,
rope drop.
yeah.
Yeah.
I,
That's because we don't like Jungle Cruise that much. Like
oh,
we'd rather
yeah,
go on
see.
Tiana's twice.
I love Jungle Cruise, so I'd rather go on Jungle Cruise twice because no two cruises are the same.
But they are.
Nope, all different, Lauren. The skipper makes it all
Pretty
different.
much.
So, and basically, after you start using lightning lanes, we book. Other than that, other trying to get another tier 1, it becomes a what's nearby, what's available, and we just rifle through them at the Magic Kingdom. If it's not, say, spring break, Christmas, or Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Every other time of the year, it becomes a game of how can we keep up with our lightning lanes, And then we tend to eat at 11 to beat the crowds. Columbia Harbor House is a favorite of mine. Where do you like to go for lunch?
We struggle here. So we actually will stop at like 10:30 or 10 around there for a cinnamon roll. So we are not
Mm,
ready to eat lunch at 11 because we
no.
just love the cinnamon rolls. That is one park that we
That
are
are
pretty
at
good with.
Gaston's. The Gaston cinnamon rolls, correct?
What did I say?
You just said cinnamon rolls. I'm just letting everybody know
Oh,
where you're getting the cinnamon
yes.
rolls.
The Gaston cinnamon rolls. Ask for free icing on Rope Drop Radio.
Yep, we'll get you the free icing.
Yes. We almost always stop there because Magic Kingdom is one park that we are actually pretty consistently rope dropping just because there's so much to do. And with the tiers, we usually are rope dropping Space Mountain. We usually have not really eaten breakfast, and so we can't last till 11.
Mm-hmm.
So we do the snack, and then for lunch, just because we had the snack, a lot of times we will leave for lunch and go to like Poly or Grand Flo or back to the resort and get lunch there.
Yeah. We think last time we did a gap in the middle of Magic Kingdom, we went to Wilderness Lodge to Roaring Fork. So another great option just outside the park. I mean, we were staying at Wilderness Lodge, so it worked out really, really well.
Right. Because I was
And
like, I don't know that I would go there if I wasn't staying there, though.
yeah, you're like going back to your resort to eat lunch on the Magic Kingdom day works out pretty good. But you got to also remember it takes a long time for a lot of places to get from the Magic Kingdom to your resort.
And I would think it depends on what resort we're staying at, right?
No.
Because like some of the food courts are better than others. So
What? They're not all equal?
sad to say.
Yeah. So, and then once you know when you're going to take your break and we're looking at lightning lanes, you just start booking them for after your break. It
Yeah.
it's literally you're just playing the lightning lane game. And so it's hard for us to say this is the plan unless we're doing no lightning lanes. Then I could give you a definitive plan of what we would do, but don't do that to your vacation. Like
No,
just
usually at Magic Kingdom, we don't, to be honest, like we probably won't even get to the last lightning lane because we'll be too
no.
tired.
Yeah.
Because it'll be for like 10 o'clock and I'll be like, I'm going to bed. Like I'm good.
So yeah, Magic Kingdom has so many options on lightning lanes, and then you just sprinkle in the stuff that doesn't have lightning lanes. Like Astro Orbiter is not open right now, but that's a good one to rope drop if you have everything booked that you need.
Yeah.
Um, Mickey Mouse is up at the front of the park, and people kind of forget he's there. A great time to meet him is, before the parade's over. Get in line
Yeah.
before the parade ends. After the parade ends, horrible time to get in line for Mickey. So
Hmm.
we've timed it to where we've come back from our break right as the parade's about to come down Main Street. That's when we get in line for Mickey because we're not having to fight the parade crowd while trying to get into the park. Hit Mickey right inside.
Right. And I was just thinking it's going to be interesting to see what happens this summer when they bring the nighttime parade online.
Oh, it's gonna get dicey. I thinking back to when the last nighttime parade was, it just clogs up everything and it's hard to get around. It's already hard to get around pre-fireworks, right?
Right.
Now we're bringing a parade down the street and possibly twice before and after fireworks. So the great thing I'm looking forward to though, the Magic Kingdom used to be open till like midnight all the time.
Right.
It wasn't weird. Now it's like weird if it's open past 10. So I think that the late hours are coming back with a new nighttime parade. They almost have to for traffic flow issues.
Yeah, which I think if you have older kids, that's kind of an awesome option
It
because they can
is.
hang and then sleep in and go to Animal Kingdom the next day and do my plan.
Or you get up the next day and you take a 5-hour nap in the middle of the day.
We are
Like
not good nappers.
we're excellent nappers now.
I've
Excellent.
seen you and Michelle fall asleep pretty much on every trip I've been with you.
It's so easy. The kids now can nap like no other. Like when they get to become teenagers, you do the early morning. There's a few choice words said at each other when you're waking each other up, but boy, I tell you what, that nap in the middle, you promise them that and they'll get out of bed. So all right, so
Yeah.
what do you do on your break, Lauren? Let's talk about that.
So we mostly swim, which I know you guys don't like to do, but we love the pool. So I would say if the weather's nice, we'll do that. If it's a longer trip, it's not every day because it can, like, sometimes we are too tired to even pool. Um, but my kids love the poolside activities. The cast members do a fantastic job playing games and stuff like that. I think their favorite thing we ever did was when we were at Riviera, they had like this or that, and you had to go on one side of the pool depending on which one you picked. And it was like Splash Mountain, like it was Splash then, or
Hmm.
Space Mountain. And so like the kids would all switch to whatever side they wanted. So that was actually like they love the poolside activities. If the weather is colder, or sometimes if it's just too hot to even pool, because that's a thing in summer in Orlando, um, we will hang out just inside the room. We, like I said, we're not good. Well, Jake can nap. The rest of us are not good nappers. I don't know what's wrong with us. He will nap. The kids will do like iPad time or screen time just to kind of sit and relax and not be in a
Hmm.
long line for a while, and hang out in the air conditioning. I think there's something to be said about mentally giving yourself a break from being in the lines, and especially in the middle of the day when the lines are the longest they're going to be all day and it's hot. So even if we come back and don't do the pool and just rest, that goes a long way for the rest of the night. And then we've even had it where it's been cold in the community centers. Not all of them have them, but some of them do. We've done like the tie-dyed Mickey shirts.
Hmm.
They don't necessarily need a community hall for that. I think sometimes they'll
No,
do
they do
that.
that at the
Just
pool and things
yeah,
like that. In the lobby, sometimes they find places. They do the little activities. Yeah, like even
yeah.
Pop Century does it.
And that's been one of their. And that one we did have. I think you have to pay. I don't
Yeah,
remember,
you
like
got to
10 or
pay for the shirt. It's not
10 or
much though.
15 bucks. And they turned out fantastic. Like they had them all tied, like tied up, knotted up, like where they needed to be. They just had to pour the dye on. So it's like super easy. And they turned out great. They said like, don't wash them for so many days. We just followed the instructions. The girls all still wear them. They love them. So there's a ton of stuff to do at the resort if you don't want to pool and you don't want to nap.
Hmm. Yeah, and then even things like a break. So we've done it where we've left a park and we're not staying at Animal Kingdom Lodge, but we'll take the bus to Animal Kingdom Lodge
Hmm.
and possibly eat lunch there or dinner there, depending on the time, and just watch the animals a little bit
Yeah.
because they have a savanna view that everybody can walk out, everybody can see. But I think that your iPad time, some downtime, like I enjoy that. There's sometimes where before I take my nap, I'll finish watching a movie, or like if we're there for a week, I might slowly watch a movie or two
Yeah.
over the course of the week. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
not something that I get to do at home because it's like there's always something I should be going and doing, and not just sitting and watching a movie, right?
You're right.
So little things like that can really help reset mentally. I think that's the biggest key, is the mental reset and elevating your feet.
Yes. Yeah, but that's important with kids. Like my kids, the reason why I've had people be like, "How do your kids last until like park close?" It's because we needed to come back and just take a break from
Yeah.
from the crowds, and it goes a long way. But I agree with you. It is. We've sometimes, especially around Christmas, or if you just want to go see another resort, that's a good time to go
Hmm.
check out some of those other resorts. Yeah, and Animal Kingdom is a good one. Wilderness Lodge when it's Christmas is amazing
Yeah.
too.
We
Yeah.
went and looked at Easter eggs.
I know. See, that's one of my favorite pastimes. And I have dragged the kids over there to go see it too for a break.
I will say there's a little asterisk on the break taking. When our kids were real little, like we just had two and they were in a stroller, they napped in the stroller
Mhm.
in the park. So I just kind of pushed them around and we stayed in the park. We didn't necessarily go back, and we still could go rope drop to fireworks with a 3-year-old, but they
Yeah.
napped in that stroller. So it wasn't really until they got a little bit older and weren't napping in the stroller that we started to go back to the resort.
Yeah.
So
I can see
it's
that.
kind of a weird caveat that the tiny kids can survive the whole day, but they have a stroller that they can sleep in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They need to
So
have that for adults when we get really tired.
yeah, there you go. I think we did it, Lauren. I think we went rope drop to nap time.
Yeah, I think I'm ready for a nap.
Any big deals going on the horizon that we might want to book to
Um
go rope drop to nap time?
so Disney still has a lot of good deals for the rest of the year. Don't forget 2026 is open for booking, and they have free dining for kids under the age of 10. which we don't usually see. So that's impressive.
That's crazy, really.
Yeah, yeah, and then, this week on Thursday, well, this whole week, depending on if you have status, the Adventures by Disney, if you want, like, a guided land tour, they are opening up for, summer 2026 booking, so that's the new
So
thing.
all kinds of great deals. So go ahead, head over to touringandcruises.com and ask for a no obligation free quote. It costs you nothing to use their services, and tell them Rope Drop Radio sent you. So we're going to get on to the after show to talk about more things. Not sure what things, you'll have to check it out to find out. Also, make sure you follow us on social media at Rope Drop Radio on all of the things. We got Instagram, Threads, Twitter, X, whatever. Sometimes I post there. I've really
Oh.
stopped. I've basically stopped. I apologize
Oh.
to my Twitterers. And Facebook, of course. But Instagram, Threads, and Facebook, we're pretty active on there. So go check it out at Rope Drop Radio. But for Lauren, I'm Doug. This has been another Rope Drop Radio.